So open up our template and go to the very first sheet, the Exchange Traded Funds Exchange Traded Notes table. And this is a big table. There's 1,200 different funds, one row for each fund, and about 50 columns describing each fund, that's ticker symbol, the issuer, the brand, everything. And we want to make this workable so we can find things in it. And there's a tool in Excel called a table that we can do that with. You might argue, well, everything's a table in Excel. And although that's true, there's special properties to the table tool that they use. So go into Insert, Tables, and then Table. And it is grabbing everything that's contiguous. In other words, there's no empty spaces. And you might want to make sure, are there empty spaces? Is there something I'm missing? And there's a quick way to make sure. I'm going to cancel this. And that is, click anywhere like cell A1 and go end down. And that will go to the very last record. And there should be no records after this. In this case, it's just a note from our author about where he got this data from. So that one's good. And now go end across to the right. And there should be no data after that. And there isn't. This is the last column. So this one's good. I'm going to go Control Home to get back to the front. And a quick way to do this is Control T, T for table. And so we know that it's all contiguous. The first row should be headers. By default, they're asking for that. And if there isn't, put them in before you do this. And then go OK. And now it's a table. It's the same data. It's colored nice. We can see it easier. You can change the color, though, if you want. And then each column head has a little down arrow beside it where we can either sort it or filter it. And when you scroll down, notice that the column heads always stay at the top. That's convenient. Notice it also named the table, Table 1. You can rename that if you wish, as long as it's unique from any other tables you have that you've done this to. And let's say that I want to make sure that there's no duplicates. So there's a Remove Duplicate tool right here in Table Design. There's also one in data, but I'm here in Table Design, so I'm just going to use this one. And make sure that all of these, and by default they are all checked, because it's possible that two different funds are virtually identical except for maybe, let's say, the niche. One's short, one's long, and we don't want to delete one of those. So as long as by default every one of these is selected, you are deleting true duplicates. So go OK, and sure enough, there were 9 duplicates that we've deleted. Now we got 1,200 remain. And then let's now say I want to find long bonds. And so I'm going to first use the name field, the very first one. I'm going to click the down arrow and choose in text filters. I'm going to filter it by something that it contains in the text. If it contains the word bond. Okay? And there's about 100 of them here, and they all have the word bond somewhere in it. Now let's say I want to find long bonds. So click the down arrow and go to text filter, same contains. I'm going to say and, because it's not or, it's not maybe things that are not bonds but long. No, I want them saying bonds and long. And so I'm going to click the down arrow, also say contains the word long. And then OK. And now there's only 5 of them. But it is possible that a fund can be a long bond but not say it in the name. You know, they might have some cool name for it that it is a long bond, but just might not say it. So let's clear this filter. Go clear filter, and then let's go over to where to the niche column in column O. And if I click the down arrow there, I'll see all the different potentials that they could be, all the ones that are listed here. Even though every one of these might be listed multiple times, it's removed all the duplicates. So these are just the different names of the different kinds of niches there are. So I'm going to unselect the select all. So none of them are selected initially. And I'm scrolling down and I'm looking for things that are long term. It's in alphabetical order. There it is, long term. And go OK. And there's a bunch of them. Now, by the way, when I'm filtering, that doesn't mean that these rows are gone. See how there's a little gap between 56 and 165? That means that all those ones are hidden, and they can be brought back again. In fact, they will be brought back again. In a minute, I'm going to clear this filter. But this is just hiding the rows of ones that don't pertain to our filter. Now, I also want to say either I want it long-term or a floating rate. So I'm going to click this, and then notice that select all is no longer checked. It's a box instead. That just means that at least one of these is checked, but not all of them. And so now scroll past and look for floating rate. Actually, it'll be up here. There. Long terms or floating rates. There's a bunch of them. And now, let's say that I want the ones that are the larger ones in the 2019 year. So I'm going to scroll to the 2019 column, total returns in 2019, and I'm going to start by sorting it. I'm going to go click the down arrow and go sort largest to smallest. And then I'm going to say anything that's above 10%. These are all percentages. I know that doesn't have this percent symbol, but that's what the number means. And so I'm going to click the down arrow. I'm going to say filter numbers greater than or equal to 10. And there they are. Some of them just over the line and all the way up to almost 27. Those are my long-term or floating rate funds in 2019 over 10%.